Hi everybody. The purpose of this video is to walk you through the process of how to create a health and safety policy within the NCAS member dashboard. The law states that every business must have a policy for managing health and safety. The policy sets out your general approach to health and safety. It explains how you, as an employer, will manage health and safety in your business, stating who does what, when, and how. If you have 5 or more employees, it's a legal requirement to have a written policy. However, we thoroughly recommend that all NCAS members with less than 5 employees have a written policy anyway. That way you can refer to it and evidence it whenever you require. The good news is the health and safety policy tool enables you to create one easily and quickly, and if you've never done one before, don't worry, the tool will walk you through the process. Okay, let's get started. The first thing we're going to do is log in at www.ncas.org.uk as a member with your membership number and password. And that is going to take you to the member dashboard home screen, which looks like this. Navigate to the left-hand side to the documents drop-down and select Health and Safety Policy. And this will open up the Health and Safety Policy tool. And the first section that you'll come to is the instructions and disclaimer. So please have a good read through of the content here, making sure you're happy and that you understand, and then confirm this by ticking here. And that has now opened up the pre-populated content within the policy template. And this is split into 3 parts, and we're going to go through each of these briefly in turn. Part 1 is a statement of content. And here are some pre-populated, pre-written statements included for you. Now these are important and quite standard statements for a typical health and safety policy for a food and drinks business. Now I'm not going to read through all of these statements, but I'm going to give you a few examples. So your health and safety policy requires you to take reasonable steps to safeguard the health and safety of your staff, people visiting your premises, and anyone who may be affected by your business activities. It requires you to identify and manage the health and safety risks in your workplace, for example, through your risk assessments, and to provide and maintain safe premises, equipment, and safe systems of work, and where necessary, to provide suitable protective clothing and equipment. So as I mentioned, quite standard typical things that you would expect to see in a health and safety policy. It's worth remembering and noting here that the content has been checked and assured by our primary authority partners. So if you look down and read through the statements, making sure that you're happy with the content, you can delete any content that you don't wish to be there, any mistakes, any information that you want to add, you can provide by free text, example like this. And you can delete any information that you don't think is relevant to your business by highlighting it, pressing delete on your keyboard. It's important that you check these statements and that they are applicable. Your health and safety policy needs to accurately reflect your business operations. So once you've done part 1, move down to part 2, where it allows you to delegate the health and safety responsibilities within your business. So the first thing you need to do is to enter the name of the person with overall responsibility. That's typically going to be the business owner or the food business operator. You can type their name in here. Secondly, to nominate the person will have day-to-day responsibility for ensuring health and safety procedures are implemented. And now that could be the business owner again, the FBO, or it could be a day-to-day manager for the site. And then thirdly, here we have the employee responsibilities, which have been outlined for you, already pre-populated into the template. Again, you can edit and customize this as you need to, but as I said, we have provided some typical pre-populated responsibilities in here to assist you. Moving on to part 3, which are the health and safety arrangements, set out into the following subheadings: risk assessments, training and consultation, evacuation, and any other health and safety arrangements. Now, where applicable, once again, we've provided some pre-populated statements, relevant content that you would expect to find within a health and safety policy. Again, please read through these, consider them carefully, and add in anything specific and relevant to your business around your arrangements and responsibilities when it comes to your risk assessments, your training and consultation arrangements, and your evacuation and emergency procedures. This final box here allows you to add in any other health and safety arrangements. So it might be that there are specific things within your business that you do that you would like outlining in your health and safety policy. If you don't have anything further to add in here by free text, it's not a problem. In order to proceed and complete the policy, we do need to add something in for the purpose of the tool. So my recommendation is to just add the word none. There's nothing specific to add, and that will allow you to proceed. Now, to sign off our form, our health and safety policy, add your name here, and then open up the signature pad by clicking here, sign the form, and it will add your signature, and then we're going to select create document. And this will just take a minute to create our policy template. There we are. And it's taken us back to the company documents page. And you will see here the health and safety policy has been completed. We've now got our expiry date in place, and you can click on this icon here, select download. It will just take a second. And there we have it. It's opened our completed health and safety policy in a PDF format. So we're just going to have a quick look at this. So there we have our statement of intent all filled out. We have our Part 2 health and safety responsibilities all filled out. And Part 3, our health and safety arrangements for risk assessments, for training, evacuation. And then here at the bottom, all nice and neat, we have our completion date and review date assigned to us here. I'll just close that down and go back to the company documents page. It's worth noting that the policy will be saved here. So should you ever need to retrieve this document, you may wish to print the PDF, the health and safety policy, and include a copy in the policies and risk assessment section of your safety management system folder. That way you and your staff can refer to it whenever you need to, and you can also evidence it to any enforcement teams within local authorities or to event organisers, etc. Now, if you've joined or renewed your membership and you've created your health and safety policy within 5 days of joining or renewing, then here at NCAS, we will print out this document for you and include it in the policies and risk assessment section of your safety management system folder when it is printed out. So it's already there for you to find. It's already completed. If you're using the NCAS digital food safety system, you can of course retrieve your company documents, your risk assessments, your policies with ease through the app so that you can have them ready to retrieve, ready to evidence to whoever may need to see them. Now remember, all of your risk assessments and policies, they are key to your confidence, to your compliance and your due diligence and demonstrating confidence in management. So it's critical that you can access them when you need to, that you understand them and that you are implementing them. Okay, that brings us to the end of this video. Of course, if you have any problems or if you require any assistance with this process or any others, please don't hesitate to get in touch with us at NCAS. Thank you. Goodbye.